So I play and mod a lot of games, and when you mod games, you come across a lot of things that are just hacky or just are cool to do and cool to show off. And I wanted to kind of start showing you some of the stuff I do when I'm modding and just showcase it to you guys and also kind of explain what I do and how I do it, if that makes sense. And so recently I've been playing and modding the game Raft. And one of the things I've recently done is add in a meteor shower. Which, in case you couldn't tell, drops a bunch of stones in your head. This is meant as a Twitch integration based mod, so if you're a Twitch streamer, you would add this mod and your viewers could spawn in a meteor shower along with a lot of other stuff. But for this one, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the meteors and how they actually work. So like I said, the meteors are actually stones, which are in the game just as stones that a bird can actually drop in your head. So with this modding, what I've done is I repurposed that, and I'm essentially spawning those stones at a elevated height and dropping them on the player. However, this is modding, and that was not actually very straightforward, and the coolness of seeing them spawn along with the hackiness that went into doing this, I thought made a cool little snippet video here. So in order to actually spawn the stones in, we had to do a little magic trick. So the game Raft is actually a Unity based game, and there is an actual modding platform for this. So the code is all written in C#, and we use a lot of Unity based stuff. So in Unity, there are what are called mono behaviors, and essentially the mono behaviors are kind of little scripts or objects in Unity. I'm not big into Unity. I've not used a ton of it, so if that's not exactly correct, feel free to correct me. But from the little bit I've done, they're kind of like these little objects that are actually in the game. So the stone, the shark, and the raft, the actual items, they're all mono behaviors. They're just kind of objects that exist in Unity. And so the stones are this mono behavior, and in order to create them in Unity, we instantiate them here. However, these stones come from a prefab, and a prefab in Unity is basically a predetermined object. So it's kind of like a base object that's been defined and is provided to you in that sense. You don't create it from scratch. You have to have kind of this initial object in order to create it. So for the mod, I can't just create a new stone that's falling from the sky. I have to use one that the game already has, which comes from an internal resource in Unity. Well, unfortunately, the easiest way is to actually just load that resource in. However, I don't have access to that file. I don't know the folder file of the resource to load in. So I have to find an existing instance of the prefab in the game. And the only existing prefab in the game is in the state manager for the bird that drops it, and it is assigned by Unity itself. So I need some way in order to access it, because if I go to .peek here, which is a decompile of the game, you'll see that the prefab here of the stone drop, which is the stone is dropping, is a private variable inside of this AI state, which is also another mono object here, or mono behavior. And then this AI state is inside of a state machine, which is also a mono behavior, which is inside the actual AI of the stone bird, which is a mono behavior in itself. So I have to essentially go down this long process of one, spawning in a fake bird, which I just set a scale of 0 and doesn't really matter. So I spawn in a fake bird. That way the field of the state is generated. Then I access the bird state machine, access the actual drop states, and then I have to use a little reflection using Harmony, which is a C# based modding reflection, I think, to actually get the field and grab its value and store it. And then when we're all done, we kill the bird. That way the bird doesn't exist, and we go ahead and drop the stone. A lot of a hack just for a little stone. This is modding. Welcome to the fun that it can be when you need to hack things that aren't meant to happen. So again, really roundabout, but that's just how it has to be done for this instance. Yes, again, there is a little more efficient way, which is loading the state in as is, so loading the resource in straight, but I would need to figure out the file path of the state in the Unity game itself, and I just don't know it. Anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, I thought you guys would just enjoy that little snippet there. Kind of fun, just why not? Just to show off kind of what I'm doing, how I do it, and give you a little insight into how modding sometimes work, the more adventurous side. No, not everything. Obviously, 90% of this mod is not like this. Many of this mod is a lot more straightforward. This is just one of the more extreme cases of this kind of hacking that has to happen. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little snippet of code. So with that, I will leave you guys once again with the effect of the meteors, quote unquote, spawning and falling. And I hope to see you guys next time.